they got the knowledge you crave. Hard hitting insight gonna make you win. Listen up closely, let the games begin. Top pick sleepers every week I spin. The FF universe here to help you win. The fantasy football universe.
What is going on? Welcome into the Double FU, the FU times 2, the fantasy football universe. I got Jesse on one side, one of the sides. I got SC on the other side. I, of course, am Jeremy. We are here to answer each and every one of your start, sit dilemmas this week. I'm going to go to SC because he is ready to go. SC, how was your yesterday and how you doing this morning, man?
It was filled with excitement. It was filled with heartache. It was filled with just, heart throbbing all the time. But as you know, man, we still say go Ducks here. Won in overtime. Great college football games yesterday. A lot of top, 25 teams lost. So as we're doing start sit here, join us Saturday mornings, hour before kickoff. We're talking the top 25 college football and Debbie players you should be watching. We were talking about that Penn State game, that Oregon game. We had some players in there, and they all sold out. So definitely a good time. But college football, man, you love it. Saturdays, that's where we're at. And then, Sundays we're here. So
that's it. Also Thursday nights as well?
Wednesday nights too. Yeah, we have our Debbie planning on Wednesdays as well. That's really just a recap. We're talking about specific things that's more focused on one specific idea in college football. We're rotating me and my co-host Spencer at Buckwild Sports, our other Debbie expert there as well. So come join us Wednesdays and Saturdays talking college football.
Love that. I am barely hanging on, but I had to go ahead and get me some Fernando Mendoza. Man, do I have that name even right? I dropped Micah Hudson as a result in one of the SC leagues there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens if that's legit, if he's for real. But college football was yesterday. Let's talk today. Jesse, how you feeling about NFL football and Vikings, Steelers trying to win this game?
We're watching Carson Wentz show why he's a backup quarterback today, folks. It is a brutal. The surprise inactive with Gainwell. With Warren, really threw everything out of whack, especially for us West Coast people, because I was like, I'm not getting up early enough for that game. It's not happening. So, it's fucking football Sunday. I'm excited. I'm ready to be here, and I will be hopping off a half hour early at 9:30 Pacific, 12:30 Eastern time. To go talk to the TikTok overlords and enjoy time with them and just nonstop rapid fire questions. So it should be fun.
That's it, man. We did that a little bit earlier just before game time. That helped you figure out that Jaylen Warren was out. So if you're not following us over on TikTok, make sure you do. Worth at least 30 minutes before game time over there, before the 1 p.m. games, but also before the early games. And we'll probably be doing something myself because I'm over here in Amsterdam. I got the time a little bit earlier in the day on Sundays as well. So all of that stuff to keep in mind. As you're waiting for us to answer your questions, throw them in the chat here. We'll make sure to get to them as soon as possible. We see JJ, thanks for joining us again. We appreciate you. Dylan and Trone Force always in here. We appreciate you guys. We got your questions. We'll get to that in 1 second. But I don't know if we're kind of watching this game fully. It's 14-6 right now. Pittsburgh over Minnesota. It looks like they're threatening to, I don't know if they're threatening to score, but Pittsburgh has the ball. And Kenny Gainwell is having a day. Or at least he's trying to have a day. So actually, let's talk about this because Trone Force puts it in the chat. He's got both Kenneth Gainwell and DK Metcalf going off. DK with an 80-yard touchdown. How are we feeling about this kind of longer term? Because Aaron Rodgers looks good. The Pittsburgh offense looks good. And Minnesota was crushing last week. What do we think? We'll start with you, Jesse, here about DK and Gainwell for the foreseeable future. Obviously, Jaylen Warren probably coming back soon.
Yeah, like without Warren, it gets really interesting. Gainwell, if I would have known he was inactive, I would just been starting Gainwell across the board just because they clearly do not trust Caleb Johnson. Like, for whatever reason, they do not want it. And this is Arthur Smith getting into rookies and all that fun stuff. But yeah, we've talked about it the entire offseason. I was lower on DK, but the fact that Rodgers can keep him viable, there's no other like receiver really to worry about. Tight ends are fine. You get some spike weeks from Jonnu, but it's kind of all over the place with how they apply those tight ends. Like today, Darnell Washington's the leading receiver for tight ends, so it's just it's a wild card there. I still feel like DK is really the only guy you can trust in the receiving room, and then it's whoever their RB1 is you want to start. So if it's Jalen Warren, or if he's out, it's Kenneth Gainwell, or if for some reason Caleb Johnson gets that shot at some point, which he should, it would be that guy. So yeah, those are like, it's really a centralized passing attack, and Rodgers is keeping them viable, which is nice.
Yep, I agree with that. And Kenny Gainwell, as you were discussing that, Jesse, just fell in the end zone again. The Dublin team put the score on the Vikings. So it was 14-12 for a second before they realized their issue. It's now with the extra point, 21-6, Minnesota getting in the ball back. But we'll go to you, SC, and let's talk a little bit about Justin Jefferson, because he's still balling out with Carson Wentz, and maybe a little bit of insight into JJ McCarthy. What do you think about this Minnesota offense? Certainly today, they're giving Jordan Mason and looking like Wentz, as Jesse was saying. But do you think these guys longer term are going to be good enough with when JJ McCarthy comes back, Addison back today? How are they going to gel? Are they going to gel? What's going to happen?
It's a fair question, and I don't know because we saw what JJM did. It looks like he definitely still needs the reps, and that's something we knew before coming in, where we didn't have the full tape on him. He didn't get enough game time at the college level, so now it's like, okay, we're really seeing that he definitely needs to develop. Can he? Definitely in the system that they have in Minnesota. Yes. Will he this year and fast enough for not only the Vikings but for our fantasy teams as well? That's yet to be seen. Wentz. It's a bad game, but the overseas games, you gotta take those with a grain of salt because the travel time, all that kind of stuff, sometimes that does play effect on one of the teams. So even if Wentz starts next week, who are they playing next week? Actually,
Cleveland. Good luck.
Cleveland. So it's gonna be tough matchups all around. Jefferson, you're not start. It doesn't matter who his quarterback is. He's always going to be a must start. But when it comes to other players, it's like, okay, we got to wait. Aaron Jones being out definitely hurts them as well. I know, people like Jordan Mason, but we know Aaron Jones is a nice pass catching back as well. So there's a lot of things that could be switched around. If you have other options than Wentz, go with that. But at the same time, if that's what you're forced to do, it's what you're forced to do. And it's not necessarily a bad play. I mean, he has Justin Jefferson, so he's going to feed him and get something because he's going to be passing to Jefferson as well.
Yep, for sure. Justin Jefferson, I think, had 7 receptions in the first half. I'm not sure what he's up to now, but he was, Justin Jefferson's going to Justin Jefferson. The problem is it's probably a little bit more boom bust than we want it to be, simply because until the offense finds its footing, like you're saying, SC. We're going to get to all these questions that you have in the chat in just 1 second. We appreciate you. But if you want your questions answered all week long, what you can do is go ahead and join us on Discord. If one of you guys can drop that link in the chat, we'll do that for you on YouTube as well, so you have it. But you can just go over to our Twitter. That's in our link tree as well, and you can just join up with us to talk ball and get any of your start, sit, trade, what have you questions answered. Of course, that's not just restricted to redraft. We got dynasty experts. Of course, we got SC and Spencer, our CFB experts for you there. So you can join us there. And if you haven't used Fast Draft yet, go ahead, go use it. Get a free $25 on us. When you deposit for $25, just use promo code FFU. That's enough of that crap. Let's talk about all the crap that you guys need to talk about for this week. And we will start with Dylan. Got to have a day, full PPR, 2 different leagues. So let's take them one at a time. Needs to win in this league, so he needs 1 flex. SC, we'll start with you. Do you think DeAndre Swift, a hobbled DeAndre Swift, but played through it last week, or Juwan Johnson? The Swift matchup is at Las Vegas, but Juwan is at Buffalo. What are you thinking here?
Well, I will say with DeAndre Swift just being a little banged up, I am trying to pick up Kyle Monogamy whenever I can. The backup there, he looked nice, in some camp reps early on. So definitely try to pick him up. I think I go Juwan Johnson here. Juwan Johnson's been balling. He looks like he's a safety net for your flex or your tight end spot. With what we don't know with DeAndre Swift, if it is going to be a lingering injury, that kind of concerns me. Juwan Johnson, again, looks like he's healthy, looks like he's a top receiver for the Saints there, so I would go ahead and pick him up. Or start him.
Yeah, New Orleans going to have to throw a ton, so I'm with you there. Jesse, are you Juwan over Swift? And what are you doing with the second choice here? Golden against the Cowboys, Swift again, or Chase Brown at Denver? Oh, you're muted.
Muted.
No, excuse me, folks. Let's try that again. Yeah, we're benching Chase Brown. You can't do that. I would prefer Swift over Golden just because I'm not fully convinced on his role materializing yet. He's a round one rookie. Like, it's going to come together and it's going to hit. It's a juicy matchup. It's all there this week. The thing is, Swift plays Vegas, and they cannot stop anyone from sneezing right now. Their defense is so bad up front. I get it. There's injury risk, but until if we hear anything coming out, and we probably will hear soon, if he's going to be limited or whatever it is, but if he's going to play his regular snap count, then I'm fine playing Swift. If there is anything that comes out that says he's going to be on a limited snap count, this will get into like the Chris Godwin thing later. Like, I'll probably just move off and I'll play Golden in that situation.
Yeah, that's fair. And Jesse, what did you say about Juwan or Swift?
I would go Swift, but I'm fine going Juwan there. It's a good call either way.
I like that. I hear you on the second part with Swift, but Matthew Golden playing Dallas. Deron Bland likely back. We'll have to check that out because that information should be it's not going to be up because that's the night game. What do you think here, SC, on the second one? Matthew Golden against a Dallas defense that sucks, or DeAndre Swift against a Vegas defense that just sucks?
Yeah. I'm not mad at Golden. I think Doves might be the receiver to start here in Green Bay. Golden, we know he has the speed to go down and get it. But the Dallas defense, as you mentioned, we've seen other quarterbacks, just have a field day with them in the secondary. So I kind of want to lead him. Chase Brown, we thought he was going to be a top 10 back. Hasn't shown it this year. Swift as well. I think I lean Golden over Swift here too, for me.
Yeah, I think I do with the injury, but Swift is not a bad play. You can't play Chase Brown right now, especially against top-tier defenses. That's really the issue there. So he's number 3. Golden or Swift. We lean Golden. Jesse, if you like Jesse and what he says, you lean Swift. Gainwell scored again. We are just a quick check on this game. Are we doing anything? No.
He's got 40 points on my bench in Scott Fishbowl. It's going great. It's going great.
Crushing. Traven FR says start 3. So let's order these guys. I think I had this question earlier on TikTok. I'm not sure, but it was close to it. If not, let's start 3 of these guys. Yeah, let's just pick them. Tyreek Hill, Quentin Johnson, AJ Brown, and Rome Odunze. So it's actually just 4. So who are you sitting of this group? Jesse, we'll start with you.
QJ. QJ's on the bench. I know everything that offense is cooking. I just have a hard time fully buying into it. Rome Odunze is a locked-in wide receiver 1. AJ Brown showed us that he's like the guy, and as long as they pass, that's really the only concern you have about AJ Brown. Those 2 are like I'm auto starting. It's really down to Tyreek Hill and Quentin Johnson. Tyreek Hill, I'm not really worried about the Buffalo matchup this week. Like they're not playing Buffalo. Excuse me. I'm not really worried about the matchup this week because like he's going to be fed and get enough usage. So I'm still okay playing Tyreek Hill, but Quentin Johnson's a fine pivot if you want it that way.
Yep. Tyreek Hill playing the Jets. SC, what are you thinking here?
Going complete opposite. I think Tyreek Hill, you bench. Q Johnson, you say you're not buying in. I think it is time that you should be buying in because it looks like he is having a role in that offense right now. AJ Brown, we saw him get back to it last week as well. Odunze, as you mentioned, is the locked-in wide receiver 1. The Dolphins as a whole, they're not doing bad, but it just kind of scares me. It's just not the same team as we saw before, and I feel teams are buying into it. So I think we live in the world where we're, starting QJ and benching Tyreek. That's where we're at right now.
I hear that, but I am going to disagree. I agree with the point that QJ is here. He's not a flash in the pan. Problem is he's living off extreme efficiency and touchdowns. He's got the third, and second, tied for second most targets on the team through the first 3 games, but he's got the highest yardage. So the efficiency is there. The touchdown scoring has been there. But there's so many mouths to feed, and you're going to get Oronde Gadsden more involved. Like, there's only one football there as good as Justin Herbert is. Tyreek Hill, this surprised me. Just looked this up: 6, 7, and 10 targets over the first 3 weeks. Found the end zone last week, and now he's playing the Jets. So I prefer Hill over Johnston, but this is a really good problem to have. Agree with both of you guys. AJ Brown, Odunze, must starts here, Trevin. You got to pick between QJ and Hill. I lean Hill with Jesse, but QJ is a really good option. So, I don't hate it, but I'm going to go Tyreek. Ice cold, OG Jones, Purdy, or Geno Smith. This one's an interesting one. SC, what you got?
I feel Purdy's a safer bet, but he's going to be coming back, right? I think I got lean Purdy. You just have to. I think the offense is more efficient around him. It looks like Geno Smith and the Raiders are still trying to figure out what they want to do. If they want to be a more run team, if they want to let Geno air it out. I think they need to let Geno just take the reins and do what he was doing in Seattle. We'll see if they end up doing that. But I think Purdy is your safer bet right now.
Yeah, it looks like it. Just for context, both of these teams at home, San Francisco playing Jacksonville, Vegas playing Chicago, so both really good matchups. Jesse, who do you like?
I think there's more variance on the Geno side, just because we've seen 2 games he's been really good with the efficiency. That middle game was abysmal, right? So,
Yeah.
which I don't trust this, like the defense of Chicago really to do much against him right now. They have to figure it out. So I think he's going to be fine. I technically have Geno as 12, Purdy at 15. I kind of want to see it with Purdy the first week back, and just if he has a little rust on the tires since he's dealing with the injury. But yeah, I think Purdy's the safer guy. So a default to Purdy.
Yeah, sadly, Purdy is safer, but Geno with the upside. Take your pick with what you need. I'm leaning Geno in most cases. There's our Discord link. You can copy and paste and join us there for free. Please feel free to do so. Bryce, good morning to you, sir. Top of the morning, as they say in Ireland, I guess. I mean, I did live there for a while. So PPR Flex, what do we got? We got Judkins, we got Hubbard or Pollard. Let's order these 3. Game script messing your head up. Listen, we're all in trouble here. We're going to start with SC, but this answer is not going to be surprising. SC, who you got?
So you're right, low. I mean, Junkins is full throttle. Start him up. If he's on your league, he has to be in your starting roster. He's getting the range, and he's going to be the guy in Cleveland. We've said he was going to be possibly the RB1 of the class, and he's showing it. People are all on Jetsy. Junkins showed efficiency the entire time of his college career, and not in the G5. He was doing it in SEC and Big Ten. You start him up. If we're going in order here, I know Chuba's banged up as well. He's expected to play, but I know he has like a calf or hamstring injury, something like that. So I like Pollard's matchup. You know, Pollard's gonna get the work. They're playing Houston this week. So I would go Judkins, Pollard, then Hubbard right now.
Yeah. Don't hate that. All 3 of these guys on the road. Jesse, who you like?
So I actually have Pollard ranked the highest. Excuse me, I have Hubbard ranked the highest. Judkins and Pollard are back-to-back, and this gets into the game script issues. They're playing Detroit. Cleveland is this week.
Yeah.
Really don't like to play running backs against Detroit because of the front and how terrorizing it is. Now, Judkins get there through the game script if he's going to get that passing down role entirely. Still was not heavily used in the passing game last week, so that's what I want to see him kind of take off to be the high-end bell cow we're looking for on that offense, where even if it's a bad offense and say they replace their quarterback, he's at least getting all of the work still. So I'm just waiting. That's the last tech I need to check. I need to tick, and then I will be good to go. Sorry, I cannot talk today. So yeah, I have them back to back. I would start Pollard and Hubbard. Judkins right there too. I think they're all good options this week.
Yeah, they're all kind of in that probably RB2s, except I have QJ higher than the rest of these guys. I go QJ, Pollard, Hubbard. I think for me, Hubbard, the Pollard has the worst matchup of the 3, I think. That New England front is good, but they still don't know who they are on defense for Hubbard. But the problem with Chuba is he's not getting the goal line anymore. Rico's out there more and more. And remember, he wasn't fully healthy to start the season, Rico Dowdle. So now we kind of see how they want to use him. And they won 30-0 last week. I don't know that they're going to go away from Rico anytime soon. So that's an interesting one there. That's it for that, but let's kind of just check our pulse on a couple of things that are happening. The first thing, and we're going to go to SC because this is a lot of our guys here. Michael Penix did absolutely nothing. Speaking of that Carolina game, 30-0, got destroyed by a Carolina pass rush that probably won't do it again, especially with DJ Wonham out. And JC Horn back, but Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I mean, Darnell Mooney at least came through. What do we think about Atlanta today at home against Washington, a defense that should be better but isn't better? Can Atlanta bounce back? And what do you think of, especially London, Pitts, and Penix this week?
Can they bounce back? We want to hope they can. It should be a favorable game streak because Mariota's on the opposite side. It's not Jaden Daniels, so it's not good. It shouldn't be as big as a blowout. At the same time, I think a lot of people that were higher on Michael Penix, you need to pump the brakes and say, okay, wait, is this maybe an opportunity where I need to try to package and just try to upgrade somewhere else? And it could just be the Atlanta game script. I mean, what they're using. It's not the same type of weapons they were using in Washington when Penix was balling out. When he had McMillan, he had Rome Odunze. Really, it's just Drake London and him not having those options. I know Darnell Mooney, you mentioned, brought up, did pretty well, but he doesn't have the same solid option as he had with McMillan and Odunze. So I think that's going to hurt him. We know Bijan's a must start. Doesn't matter what you do, you're starting Bijan. He's RB1. But at the same time, when it comes to the pass weapons, I think if you have to, you're playing them. But I think if you have other options, it is easier to bench them at this time, regardless of where you have them in the ranks, just because we don't know what Penix is really going to be able to do.
Yep, 100% on that. I think this Atlanta offensive line is worse than we even gave them credit for. It's going to be trouble for these guys. Jesse, similar question, but I'll also add this to you. Darnell Mooney came back, 2 weeks ago, was just 4 targets, came back last week at Carolina, 11 targets, just 4 for 44. Can Penix get the accuracy under control to his weapons? Is this, Darnell Mooney taking over? What's going to happen for Atlanta?
I mean, Darnell Mooney kind of went under the radar last year. He was really good as a wide receiver, too, in that offense. He's just a quality NFL wide receiver. He's got speed. He can stretch the field. He can do some things for you. So I think he's a fine secondary option. You prefer him as a third, but Atlanta doesn't really have another option in that passing attack. We'll talk about Kyle Pitts in a little bit. But the issue with Penix from fantasy is just he doesn't run. And these immobile quarterbacks who don't run really have a capped ceiling unless they're Joe Burrow, right? And you're going to throw for 45 touchdowns in the season. We see in Baker, we're seeing Purdy scramble a little bit more. So they're kind of stepping out of that tier. Penix just he's a freaking statue in the pocket. He's got wheels. He runs 4.5 40, but he just does not run because of all his injuries he's had in his career. So it's really tough for him to be a high-end guy. So I'm with SC. If you could package him, move up into the higher end of quarterbacks, then yeah. Because like Mariota's projected to outscore him just strictly based on Mariota's rushing today. Mariota doesn't even have to pass it. He can pass for 200 yards and no touchdowns. If he gets 5 attempts for 50 yards, that's 5 points right there. So that's the whole issue with these immobile quarterbacks. Man. It kind of sucks.
Yeah, very true. Penix, we'll see. He'll have easier matches, but that one should have been a cupcake one. It wasn't. And now I've had a lot of questions, questions about Drake London this week. You'd mostly got to fire him up, especially in matchups that are favorable like this against Washington, and they're at home. Jelly of the Month says, picked up and started Kenneth Gainwell. Good job, sir. Starting Pollard, you should go Travion, Tillman, or Juwan Jennings in the flex. What do we think, especially about Juwan Jennings? There's been some reports about, is he going to be on a snap count? Of course, he's back. Of course, it's Brock Purdy. Of course, it's Jacksonville. What do we think here, Jesse?
Do you want to take the risk with Travion? This is the week. It's Carolina, man. It's all systems go. It should be, right? Rhamondre had a really bad week last week. A few of our New England fans were like, F Rhamondre, get him out of there. Remember
100%.
this? Yeah. 100%. So we'll see. The door is open for him to step into that role. I will say he's still super risky because we have no idea if he's going to earn that role yet or not, right? But I mean, I'm not playing Tillman over him. He's boom bust. Like, you need touchdowns and deep threats with Tillman. It's really hard. It's very similar to Travion. It's like low floor. The ceiling's high if he hits, but man, the floor's really low. I think Jennings is by far the safest of these options, and I would actually play Jennings. If you want the upside bet, just forget the wide receiver. Just take the running back upside bet for Travion. But I think Jennings is the one that I'm defaulting to as like the safest of the three.
Yeah, he should be, but he could be hurt and on a snap count. Are you feeling the same way, SC, or are you going a different direction?
Man, what he was saying at the very beginning, this is the time to start Travion. I mean, you drafted him high. These are the games that's like, all right, man, this is it, right? If you can't do it against this team, then you're going to my bench here, right? I want to lean with that because I feel we've been waiting for it, and we know Travion, or at least I would say Travion's a guy that's gonna get your home run hits. He's gonna be a guy that doesn't need the efficiency, doesn't need to be a full down workhorse back. If that's why you drafted him, you drafted the wrong player. But at the same time, he's someone that can get you, 5-6 carries and have a big play, and that's exactly what this defense is gonna allow an opportunity for that. So, in my eyes, I would do that. I don't want Tillman. When it comes to Cleveland pass, receivers, if it's not Judy, Fannin, I'm firing up in some places just because he's looked like he's having a role in there. But other than that, I'm not really starting the Browns offensive receivers right now. Juwan Jennings, Purdy's back, as you mentioned, that's gonna be nice as well. He should figure in there. I know Purcell's banged up as well. Kittle, is banged up, so Jennings may be the de facto guy. But coming back from injury, I think I lead Travion, but it's really close between him and Juwan. So if you want to go Juwan, that's good. But I think you have to start Travion in this matchup. This is the matchup you wanted for him all season, so you're gonna go with that.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you guys on Juwan, but Travion. Let's look at Bijan last week. Remember, he didn't score a touchdown, but he played Carolina, just like Travion will. 13 rush attempts, 72 yards at 5.5 yards per clip, 6 targets, 5 catches, and 39 yards. If he scores, he's much better than the RB14 that he finished at in half PPR. But obviously in PPR leagues, you're loving it even more. Point per first down, I'm going to go with Travion, and I'm just going to assume Ramondre gets that vet treatment. He's out there for a majority of the first quarter, and then they just start moving to Travion. We'll have to see. It's hard to sit Juwan Jennings at the moment, but you might have to there. Just keep an eye and listen to what they're saying in pregame. Chip says half PPR flex spot. Cam Scatterboot, love it. Emeka Egbuka, love it, but it's getting murky there. Or Cortland Sutton. Jesse, who you got?
So there was a report that Sleeper dropped that no one can verify that said Godwin's going to play a lot. He is going to play today. I will say that. But like even on the interview when they asked Sal Paolantonio this morning, he mentioned he's going to play. He didn't say anything about like snap counts or anything. So heads up, Godwin is super risky this week, by the way. I'm going with Egbuka. I know it's half PPR. I'm going with Egbuka still. But him and Scatterbo are really close. Scatterbo's he's going to get a ton of work with no Tyrone Tracy. He's going to be heavily involved. We'll see how it goes in this matchup. But yeah, I'm still going to roll with Egbuka even in half PPR. So I have Egbuka, Scatterbo, and then Sutton.
Yeah, I feel like I'm leaning the same way. In terms of, you're mentioning the Sleeper news alert. In terms of what Sleeper has on Godwin's profile, it says that the team has not indicated if he will be on a snap count or not. And that was as of 11 minutes ago. As of 23 minutes ago, Baker Mayfield, you got to keep this in mind. Baker also has a biceps injury. He's been wearing a sleeve in practice all week. Does that impact it? I don't know. SC, what do you think at half PPR? Do we lean running backs or are we going to Mecca?
Sutton's obviously the one out. Scatterboot, I think you want to start Scatterboot. At this point, he really showed he could be the workhorse. He could be the guy there for him. We knew he was that. We see that with Arizona State too, that he is their big guy there. He was the main factor there. So I want to lead him. Egbuka is going to be the de facto, even with Godwin back. We know Mike Evans is out, so you do get that into him. With Baker, being a little banged up as well, though. I think Scatterboot is the safer bet. But I think the higher ceiling will be Egbuka. But sometimes early on, I just go safe and go ahead and play Scatterboot.
Yeah, I hear that in half PPR with the running backs. It's really hard to sit Scatterboot at the moment. But he is playing the Chargers, and the Chargers are pretty good. Emeka Egbuka is playing Philadelphia. So that's really the issue. Both Philly and Chris Godwin back. Chris Godwin's not going to get double-digit targets in this game. It's not happening. That's still going to Emeka, but Sterling Shepard coming on as well. Sutton's got a great matchup. He's at home. He's against Cincy. So it's really tough, and it's a really good question. I think I lean Emeka too, but Scat is right there. You could really play any of these guys, but it's really hard to bench Emeka right now, even with the situation going on. Deli of the Month says he's going with Travion. All right. One more if you can. You can. Yeah, it's for me, this is definitely Love over Justin Fields because Love is playing the Cowboys. That's what it is. I get Justin Fields is playing the second worst defense in the league in the Miami Dolphins. So that's nice too. But Fields coming off injury, is he going to be 100%? Is he going to want to run as much? That to me is the question. 6-point passing touchdown makes it super close, but you get a point per rushing first down, which leans it to Fields. SC. Yeah. How are you feeling about this one? You going Love? You going Fields?
No, you gotta go Love, man. The Cowboys have looked abysmal, to the passing game. Even with Jaden Reed being out, Love. This should be the game that if you have him, you're starting him all the way because it is gonna be a bad one. He can pass it on this team. Josh Jacobs should get some work there as well, but I think Love is the for sure. There's no start Justin Fields, just start Love.
Yeah, Love has a floor and a ceiling this week, but Justin Fields in this format might have the higher ceiling,
Mhm.
but how
Right.
much is he going to run, Jesse? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm gonna go Fields. I will live with it. I have Love ranked higher, but I'm saying if you want to dive into the variance, particularly in point for first down, this is the thing. Like Fields is gonna run a bunch in this game. Miami's defense is abysmal. Like they are awful. So we've seen Fields be the Jekyll and Hyde. Week 1 he was great. Week 2 he was awful. Week 3 didn't play. You're gonna get closer to week 1 performance, and he could go nuclear in this match just because of his rushing ability. He doesn't even have to be a good passer in this game. Like he could put up 8 for 80 and like a touchdown or 2, and you're talking massive point game. So, yeah, I think Love's much safer. If you don't want to dive into the variance, just play Love. 6-point passing TD is nice, boost him up a little bit. Fields is the guy that you're like, I want to hit the rocket ship, go to the moon. Like that's the button you push.
Just to kind of put a bow on what we were talking about a minute ago, the Dallas Cowboys are giving up the most fantasy points to opposing quarterbacks. That's not a surprise. That's Jordan Love's opponent. The Miami Dolphins are giving up the second most to opposing fantasy quarterbacks. That's Justin Fields. So it's a really tough call, but it's a really good position to be in. How healthy do you think Justin Fields is the question. Also, Fields playing, Love playing tonight, but Fields playing tomorrow night. So you have the opportunity here to gauge what you need. I think Love gives you the better floor. Fields is probably the higher ceiling. If you need an upside shot, you probably go Fields, but they're both going to have really good games. So this is a tough one. I lean Love as well.
Let's pivot a different direction then, because both of them have solid running backs. Do you start Josh Jacobs or do you start Breece Hall?
I mean,
you got to start both.
Josh.
Who are you benching them for? It's Josh Jacobs over Breece Hall for me, for sure.
Okay. No, that was just a random question, just because I know the defenses are bad. It's like, okay, that might be something as well, because either way, you're starting Garrett Wilson. He's the must start out of all of them. The wide receivers in Green Bay could be a little bit shaky, not because they're bad, just we don't know which way Love is going to go. He doesn't really tend to focus on one guy. It could be a big game from Golden, could be a big game from Doves, could be a big game from Tucker Kraft. We don't know. Where we know Justin Fields is going to go towards Garrett Wilson, right? But then I think when the running backs comes a little bit closer, because both of them could have bigger games. However, we know Breece Hall has some running back competition there, where Josh Jacobs is his backfield. So,
yeah, and I will say Miami's so bad; they're 7th in fantasy points allowed to running backs. Dallas is like 17th, so it's kind of a little bit different. They've just been so bad offensively, so it's not good. But yeah, Miami's defense is bad.
Yeah, these are the matchups you want to exploit. Trevin joined us on the Discord. We appreciate you, Trevin. Quinja, I don't know if you're in here, but you joined us on the Discord as well. If you want to join us on the Discord, you can make sure to do that. Just hit the link in the YouTube chat. Just scroll up a little bit, and we can make sure to get you in there. We'll answer your questions not just now, but all week and season long. So please join us there. And if you have any other start-sit questions, please post them in the chat. We are getting to these as fast as possible. Like this one. Well, not like this one. Jelly of the Month, appreciate you. Thanks for joining. And we got Will. Will wants to know, let's order these guys, because another good problem to have, especially this week with DJ Moore's matchup. Olave, DJ Moore, Adams. We're going to start with SC. What are you thinking in PPR?
Well, I'm trying to see who's Adams playing this week. Indy.
Yeah. Kenny Moore
But
out, right?
He's dealing with an injury is the problem for Davante Adams.
Yeah. Okay. So it's a later game, right? So we don't know if they're if he's fully in and out. Okay.
He should play.
So I think I lead Adams. I think he's the guy you want to start. It's basically Adams right now until he shows us not otherwise. He's been the wide receiver one for teams for years now. Until he shows us he's not, you got to start him. So you lead Olave or DJ Moore. Man, with the good game for Luther Burden last week, we know Dunjay is the top guy there. I lean slightly Olave.
Yeah,
I think I lean slightly Olave over Moore. They're closer for me. I don't know, but I think Olave, we know the competition is not as brutal as it is for DJ Moore. And DJ Moore, it's not only the wide receivers. I mean, they could get Loveland involved. We know Swift could be a pass catching back as well. And Caleb Williams, he could pass it around, but will that be efficient enough for you to win? So I think Olave, just because he's the guy for New Orleans. So Adams, Olave, DJ Moore for me.
Yep. And before I let Jesse say anything, I have to say this about Chris Olave. 13, 10, and 14 targets over the first 3 weeks of the season, but he's only converted that into 54, 54, and 57 scoreless yards. So Olave getting the volume, but volume from Spencer Rattler is not necessarily the same as volume from, for example, Matthew Stafford. So something to keep in mind. DJ Moore also playing Vegas. Jesse, what do you think?
Yeah, DJ Moore is the riskiest option by far. Even with Adams dealing with injury, you can't trust DJ Moore. It's just so hard because his doppelganger is Luther Burden, and they do a lot of the same stuff. So that's the biggest issue DJ Moore going into this offseason. I was like, once they took Luther Burden, I was like, I'm just out. I don't want DJ Moore anymore. Terrifies me. That's why I like Rome Odunze. He's the one guy that does something no one else does on that team. Olave has the number one role as far as expected fantasy points in the NFL. It's Chris Olave. It's so bad with Rattler. I think Underdog put out a post yesterday where they said Chris Olave, elite PPR scam. And I was like, good Lord, this is out of control.
Wandale is Wandale.
Yeah, he's basically Wandale this year.
Yeah.
So yeah, Chris Olave has to be hating life, having been drafted in New Orleans, just dealing with that carousel, just abysmal quarterback play. I like Olave and I like Shaheed. They're both good wide receivers. They still have a quarterback. But yeah, it's Devontae Adams, Chris Olave. Oh yeah, by the way, Devontae Adams has the second best role in the NFL from respective fantasy points per game. So it's Olave and Adams. And DJ Moore is well down. So yeah, Olave and Adams.
Yeah, the targets are just not the same. Adams and Olave. Olave's elite. Adams is just one slight tier below elite. And DJ Moore hasn't had more than 5 targets in a game. So for me, it's Adams, Olave, and Moore. So I'm going with that as well. Put out 2 hours ago, Devontae Adams is expected to play without any major restrictions. So that's helpful. It is a hammy. It can come back up at any time. We hope not. We want to see Devontae Adams play and at least have a chance at a ship, which he has. Does he have one?
Yeah.
Might have one. Yeah, he's got one.
Adams
With Aaron Rodgers. Yeah.
I think so.
No,
Aaron Rodgers has one. I don't know if Devontae does.
Yeah,
he won with Nelson.
Adams.
Yeah, he won with Nelson.
Yeah, that was like 2012.
Yeah.
I don't think Adams does actually. I don't think about it.
Yeah.
Let's let Adams be healthy for a season and give him a shot. That defense is much improved in LA. They're just getting more experience there. Juan, what is up? He needs 4 spots. All right, we got a lot of guys to talk through. But first we have your. I don't know what we're looking at.
So he needs he needs 3 wide receivers and a flex spot. It looks like.
Yep. Okay, let's run through them. QJ Hollywood. I don't know what Hollywood Brown. Devontae Adams, Debo, Trey Tucker, or Tyquan Thornton. So I'm going to say this first, and this I think kind of helps frame this discussion. Xavier Worthy will play. Xavier Worthy is going to step back into the Xavier Worthy role, which is really the Rashee Rice role, but it's at least the Xavier Worthy role for a couple more weeks. So Tyquan Thornton for me, Hollywood Brown are no-goes, but are you playing any of them over these guys? So let's take 3 wide receivers. SC we'll start with you, Jesse, since you seem confident. QJ, Hollywood, Adams, Debo, Trey, and Tyquan.
So my question is, why are there no running back spots? Because you have Jacobs and Taylor there as options, and I'm like, they should be starting running backs. So is this a start no running back league? And if it is, that sucks. If I'm going to go this option, I'm starting freaking Jonathan Taylor as my flex, if that's the situation. If you have to move somebody else in that, then we'll do that. But my wide receivers are Devontae Adams. I'm playing Debo, and I'm also playing QJ. So those are my 3 wide receivers I'm playing. And then my flex would be Jonathan Taylor. If you need to flex another one of these guys, like another one of these wide receivers, then I guess you could do Hollywood, but it's Hollywood or Trey Tucker. I don't want to do Thornton. We're not touching that one. So that's my confusing part with this question. If you could clarify it a little bit. What about you guys? Would you start those 3 wide receivers to flex that? Or
so I think I got it. I think I got it. SC for you. I think he's got Nick Chubb or Travion Henderson as options. It looks like Jacobs and Taylor are his starters.
Oh, gotcha.
If I'm reading it correctly.
Yeah.
So you got your flex options could include Chubb or Travion. SC, who do you got for 3 wide receivers and a flex?
So as I said, started QJ. I think he just has a role on the offense right now, so you have to start him. Devontae Adams is the other one you're going to start there. So your wide receiver 3 for me is Hollywood, Thornton, Tucker, or Samuel. I want to leave Samuel. Terry McLaurin's out. He's going to get some volume there. It could be a Zach Ertz type of week. We don't know. But Debo, regardless, he's going to be the one with McLaurin out. So I would lean QJ, Adams, Debo. Tucker, in my opinion, you need to sell high on Tucker with that big
Yes.
game he had last week. This is an opportunity for you to sell high, and you could possibly move up or get something plus as well. So there you go into the flex spot. Again, Henderson. This is again your weeks to not start Henderson have passed. This is the week you want to start him because this is the week he's going to have a big play, or he should. If not, then we're going to start migrating off of him and saying, okay, what's going on here? What's, it's a Ramondre stat. Find this person that has Ramondre in the league, try to give him the handcuff for an upgrade at Henderson because he still may have that rookie hype early. But at this point, I think you got to start Henderson.
Let's simplify this because I think we're all saying QJ and Adams are must starts. And then, we'll probably throw in Debo there as a third in most cases. The problem with Debo is for sure that the targets evaporated with Marcus Mariota last week. But of course, Terry McLaurin was playing. Now Terry McLaurin's not playing. I think you shoot your shot with Debo here. The real question is Trey Tucker against Chicago at home, right? It's still a good situation. He's not scoring 3 touchdowns, but he's still got a good situation. He could have another good game. So do you want to flex Trey Tucker or do you want to flex Travion Henderson or Nick Chubb? Jesse, we'll start with you.
Travion. I am not into the Trey Tucker thing that's official and it's going to happen the rest of the season. I think this is one of those things where a guy just pops off, has a really good game. He has a connection with Geno. I will say in best ball leagues, he's a good piece because Geno is a good deep ball thrower. That connection works really well together. But yeah, like SC was talking about, you play Travion, you dive into that upside that he gives you because the floor is higher. And realistically, I know he just went on nuclear, Tucker did last week. The ceiling is higher with Henderson. So yeah, I'm going to play Henderson. Chubb, that offense is just too hard to trust. Chubb's losing snaps Woody Marks. It's really hard to play Chubb at this point.
I will say if Jacoby gets traded, then I'm more on board to start Trey Tucker. But as long as Jacoby's there, I'm still hesitant on it.
Fair. Very fair. We're all saying Travion Henderson there. Good luck with that one, Juan. Juan's got another one. Second league, wide receiver 2, RB1 and 2. So 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, and a flex with all of these names. We got James Cook. We got Javonte Williams, I'm assuming, because he's in between Kyren Williams and Kamara. Ramondre is the odd man out here. Wide receivers, QJ, Travis Hunter, DJ Moore, or Njoku, Kelsey in at tight end. SC, what are you thinking? Once again, 1 wide receiver, 2 running backs, and a flex.
I think we know where my wide receiver is landing, so we'll say QJ again.
Yeah.
And still he's showing he's not part of it. They want him involved. I'm not saying this is breakout year, but we know he's involved in offense. It's really just the pass weapons, right? I mean, I just put a parlay for Keenan Allen anytime touchdown, so I think QJ's still there. But go ahead and start him. Travis Hunter, I tried to tell y'all. Let's go with James Cook. And then we'll do Kyren Williams as well. I think is your RB2, so leaves us in the flex. The Cowboys play the Bears, right? So
Cowboys are home against Green Bay.
Green Bay. Yeah, it's still not that good. I mean, still. I would just start Javonte here. I think I go Kamara as your flex here. And Njoku, man. Kelsey is your tight end, so you're good there. But Njoku, I drafted him a lot, and it seems Fannon's slowly taking over that role, slowly but surely. So, Njoku's just on your bench right now. But yeah, so James Cook, Kyren, QJ, Kamara, flex.
Yeah,
I like that. Jesse?
That's it. Yeah, I have that exact order. I would make the case for Javonte, but it's a really bad matchup against Green Bay. Green Bay is like top 5 in fantasy points allowed to the position, and their defense is stout. So Javonte is the bell cow and all that. Oh, yeah, good.
Let's say, and we know Parsons is going to go out there and make them look like a fool. So he's going to make sure Dallas is like, you traded me, I'm going to Dallas. I'm going to make sure that the whole city of Dallas understands y'all made a mistake.
Yeah, I think there is a pathway for him to kind of do the Alvin Kamara PPR scam late, where he's just getting dump offs and things of that nature. Mm-hmm. But just do that with Kamara against Buffalo. They're going to be in that situation, right? So so I think we're in agreement on these guys.
Yep. Totally agree with you as well. You can't start Hunter right now, especially when Parker Washington is coming in mid-game and getting 11 targets. I posted this in a chat earlier today because somebody said something that reminded me of Happy Gilmore. So I posted a Shooter McGavin meme and I said, Shane Waldron eats pieces of shit for breakfast. Because, like, what a garbage coach. I mean, maybe he's a fine human being, but a garbage coach just destroying the value of his good wide receivers. Shane Waldron, if you didn't know, like I didn't know, is still in the league, is still controlling the passing game coordinator of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Why? I don't know. But yeah, Travis Hunter, he can't start. And BTJ, we're concerned. Trevor Lawrence, will he ever come through? Who knows? It's QJ. And like you said, it is Cook, Kyron, and Alvin Kamara. Dak Prescott, hopefully he's alive after this one. Micah Parsons is going to sack him 2 times. If you got a 1.5 money line on Parsons sacks, take the over. Ryan, what is up? 30 points getting dropped on you by Kenneth Gainwell. You have to love it. Gainwell's still out there. Rodgers still out there. They're up 10 with 5 minutes left. Kenny Gainwell is putting on a clinic. What the hell?
Yeah, I just looked at my S&P bench score, 46. I go, fuck.
Oh,
This is just like a huge slap in the face with like Caleb Johnson. Like I just don't understand. He looked good in the preseason. He's had fumbling issues, and I mean to the point that Tomlin said he's not even going to be on special teams anymore. So it's just like I don't even know what to do at this point. You know, and you're stuck with him. I feel you use some high draft capital on him, so you're kind of stuck with him at this point and hoping it pays off.
yeah.
It
Caleb
reminds me of Travis Hunter. Like it reminds me of Travis Hunter. Obviously, it's a worse scenario because he's like not even getting on the field. But it's similar in the fact like we expected these guys to have roles that are just not materializing right now. So just stay patient because you can't do anything with him.
Right.
Yeah. Caleb drops his only target, 6 rushes for 22 yards. Kenneth Gainwell, by comparison, just pulling up these stats from this one, they're going to be good. 14 rushes, 90 yards, 2 scores, 5 targets, 5 receptions, 27 yards. He was the bell cow. We talked about it earlier on TikTok. Jesse's going to go on TikTok in a couple of minutes and talk all about what you should be doing 30 minutes before game time. So keep that in mind. Just like home league. I love home leagues, Ryan. I love home leagues.
Best.
I don't know what are you doing wrong? What are you doing wrong? Tyler Griffin, Steelers fan. Tyler Griffin happy right now. Tyler, what are you saying? What are we saying to Tyler about Worthy, Downs, Booty, Turpin, or Henderson in the flex? Let's give him a top 3. Let's rank a top 3. We'll start with SC. What are you thinking here as your top 3 go-to guys here in PPR?
Top 3, man, it's crazy if we say Butte, right? I think Butte has a role in that offense. So top 3 in order: Butte, Worthy, Henderson would be my top 3 right now.
Yeah.
I don't trust Downs with Danny Dodge. Danny Dodge looks great, but it looks like Pittman's the guy there for him, and they're going to run the ball with JT. So it's not just the same efficiency we were seeing last year. Butte looks like he is being, reliable target too. Drake Bay there. Worthy, it looks like he shouldn't have any restrictions. He's back. It was just, I believe, just a dislocated shoulder, so he's back, pop back into place. Henderson, as I mentioned, this is the week you want to start him. So I would go Butte safe. Henderson or Worthy, then Henderson, but I think Henderson could have the higher upside because again, this could be a game where he hits the home run. So,
SC, I agree with everything you said, except you say Penix all the time, and I can't get you to say Booty. K-Shot Booty. What the hell, Jesse? What do you got? Who do you got here for these top 3?
Yeah, Booty's been Booty with 4 targets last 2 games combined, so we're not doing him. I get it. His role is solid in that offense, but man, it's up and down. They're playing Carolina. I get it. I'm playing Henderson. I'm doing Worthy, and then I'm doing Turpin. They're going to be more reliant on Turpin in this game. I know, like it seems risky with Turpin. He was already decently involved. He was getting some like rushing attempts as well. They're going to use him as like a short A-dot guy in this offense. They need other pieces. Like they have Pickens downfield. They have Jake Ferguson. You got Javon. Like they need someone else to kind of give them explosive plays underneath. That's where Turpin comes in. So as much as I like Downs, you can't trust him right now because his role sucks with the just getting bullied by the tight end there that they drafted. So yeah, I would go Henderson, Worthy, and then Turpin is how I have this ranked.
I hear you on Turpin. He's, I think, in reality, the second best wide receiver that they have right now at the moment. But when you're talking Mingo or Tolbert, none of these guys are really viable for fantasy, especially against Green Bay. If anyone is, it's probably Turpin, but he's not for me. I'm just looking up down stats just to see what we're dealing with exactly. 3, 8, and then 3 targets. So he's basically Turpin. These guys just so up and down. Yeah. He's basically Booty, right? So you got to start Worthy for sure. You got to start Henderson for sure. And then you're kind of making your decision. Against the Rams, I'll probably go Downs because Alec Pierce is out. So that at least opens up a little bit. And maybe the Rams destroy what should be a not as good as they've been Indy defense. They really should destroy them. They really should. But we don't know. They haven't been able to. That Indy front has been awesome. So something to keep in mind.
Before
Yeah.
Before we get to this question, I have a question because I'm doing a DFS real quick for anytime
Hit it.
touchdown. I have Keenan Allen. These are all anytime touchdowns. Keenan Allen, Alec Iomunner, JCM, Romeo Doubs, Obika, and Hopkins for anytime touchdowns. Would y'all trade any of those to start Kincaid, Kelsey, or QJ even for anytime touchdown?
Yeah, I'd take
I'm-
QJ.
I'm
If you're
really
going that-
struggling with Bill. I'm struggling with Bill.
Yeah. Bill's the one that's struggling too. Yeah, I'd either bench him or just swap him for QJ personally. Take the shot on
So
that.
have Keenan and QJ.
QJ and Keenan.
Oh, that's
Oh,
tough.
or-
Yeah, never mind.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go for it. I forgot you had Keenan on there.
Yeah.
Nah, I would just knock Bill out and of course watch Bill's gonna score. But
Yeah, or Kincaid or Kelsey. Kincaid or Kelsey over.
you could go it. I mean,
Kincaid, I mean, the only thing they have there in New
Yeah,
Orleans
I'd take
is like
Kincaid.
a linebacker core. So Demario
I-
Davis
I-
is still running around back there.
yeah.
Uh,
If you're gonna do the tight end, I would take Kincaid over Kelsey right now.
Or Kraft.
I
I could
wouldn't-
do Kraft too. Kraft is
I
available.
would
Yeah,
do
do
Kraft.
Kraft.
Do Kraft.
Instead of JCM, so Dubs and Kraft and no JCM. JCM. Okay.
I would take out Big Bill. He could score. It's just a three-headed monster. He's coming in banged up. We don't know what to expect. I'm in a couple of spots. I am starting whatever the hell his name is. I can't even think of his name. The other guy, McNichols, over Bill,
Jerry.
where I have both of them on my bench. But Bill banged up, and I just can't trust him. McNichols was explosive. He deserves more work, and he gets the passing game work. So I like McNichols more than these other two guys, even though he's not getting the ball.
I also have Lamar as an option against KC, but that's a run.
Lamar's always a good bet. You can't go
Yeah.
wrong with that.
Yeah, he's
All
going
right,
to score.
on that note, though, I'm gonna head out because I get ready for the TikTok show. So, but best of
Sounds
luck, you guys,
good.
on this half hour.
Yeah.
And I'll see you after.
Cool. We won't feel bad about you if you leave us in the lurch like Jesse and join him on TikTok. Go ahead and feel free to do that if you want. We'll get to more of the questions in just a second here. It looks like Pittsburgh is wrapping things up. We got 3.5 minutes left, but somebody else down on Pittsburgh defense. Minnie is driving, so we'll keep you updated with what happens with that game. Go on and flip it on if you were just waking up. SC, what are you thinking about this one from Kenneth? Kenneth, thanks for joining us again. We got Pickens. Of course, he's going against Green Bay, but is the only game in town besides Ferguson or Debo. Marcus Mariota didn't target him last week, but F1 Terry McLaurin is out now, and they are playing against Atlanta. Been a very good defense so far. What do you think?
I think you go Pickens. You have to start with Pickens. With no CD, this is going to be an opportunity for him to go out there and shine. I actually do like starting. You mentioned Turpin could be good, even Jalen Tolbert, but definitely Pickens should get the majority of the volume with CD out. So I would go Pickens over Debo.
Yeah, I think Debo seems a lot more volatile with Marcus Mariota in there than with Jaden Daniels. Daniels just obviously a better player than Mariota is. Mariota relying on his legs, relying on Zach Ertz. And there's not really a lot of room, but with McLaurin out, he's interesting, but it's got to be Pickens there as well. They're going to find a way to get him open against Green Bay. Gainwell almost scored again. We have to watch this game. We'll get into it here in a couple of minutes. Mega Brick, thanks for joining us again. Mega Brick, full PPR. He's got to sit one of the following. These are the decisions that suck in fantasy football, but we get here about a month in where guys are injured. There's ineffective play. Obviously Joe Burrow out is the problem here, but Ja'Marr Chase also going against Pat Surtain and that Denver Broncos defense. So, SC, do you have the balls? Do you have the cojones to sit Ja'Marr Chase for QJ and Olave, or are you rolling with him and sitting one of these studs in fantasy?
These type of decisions are the ones that win you a championship, right? Because on paper, it says start Ja'Marr Chase all the way through. You brought up he's going against Pat Surtain. Joe Burrow is not his quarterback. It is Jake Browning. Ja'Marr Chase is still going to get his, but we also know Surtain is a great lockdown guy, and he's going to make sure Ja'Marr Chase isn't running around.
Yeah.
QJ and Olave are the answer here. These are the decisions again that win you a championship by not going with the name value of the guy and going with, okay, I'm looking at the matchup, who has the better one, an easier one. KJ Olave, your guy.
Yeah, love that. What we have to talk about this, Jordan Addison. Carson Wentz completed an 82-yard pass just now to Jordan Addison. Jordan Mason trying to slam it home for all of my teams where I have Jordan Mason. Absolutely crushing it. Mega Brick, I hear you, SC. I don't think I can sit Jamar. Jamar is going to have one of these Justin Jefferson type games here soon. Is it this week? I don't know. But I will say that against Pat Surtain, QJ was going off, right? So maybe that's on QJ, but maybe that's on Pat Surtain a little bit too.
Right.
The guy I'll sit here is Olave. I don't like it. We just talked about his volume. You have to love that. I can't sit QJ right now. He's balling. He's going to fall off at some point. And maybe the right answer is sit Jamar Chase, but I can't do it. I'm going Jamar Chase and QJ. I think what we're saying is you got to start QJ. And then the question is, do you need the safe floor of Olave, who's going to give you 50 yards and 10 receptions? Or do you want the potential high upside for Jamar Chase against Denver? But Denver's not this amazing defense. They're a top unit, but I don't think they're top 3 at the moment. So it's something to keep in mind there. Tough one. Let's talk a little bit about this game and what's going on here. So we have, we had somebody drop it at the goal line. I don't know who number 1 is. I don't know if that was 4th down, but I think, yep. All right. So we got Carson Wentz here, 4th and goal. So I'll narrate it to you for a second in case you're watching, or in case you're not watching. 2 minutes left in the game. And I don't know what Carson Wentz just did, but he ended up completing it for a touchdown to, is that Naylor? Who's number 1 on Minnesota? Looks like Jalen Naylor helps nobody for the touchdown. Jordan Addison. Yeah, but Jordan Addison for an 82-yard bomb. And
helps
all
you
of
to
a sudden
start
it's a game. Yeah.
If you start Wentz, you're happy, right? You got the touchdown here. But what's the score of that game now?
It's a 3-point game, assuming the extra point goes through. But yeah, Wentz now has, is it 2 touchdowns? I think Mason has 1. I gotta check the stats. In fact, actually, I can check the box score here. Let's do that. Wentz just the 1 touchdown. Mason 0 touchdowns. How'd they get their touchdowns? So Wentz has 2 touchdowns. The backup running back, if you picked up Scott, Xavier Scott,
yeah.
If you picked him up and played him, he scored a touchdown in this game. Also has 5 receptions for 34 yards. Addison doing stuff. Justin Jefferson, 10 receptions, 126 yards, doing Justin Jefferson things. We love to see it. Jordan Mason, unfortunately, just 16 carries, 57 yards. But he does have 3 catches for 15 to help keep you afloat. This game is still going. It's a 3-point game. We'll see what Pittsburgh can do. Check it out and see what you can do. Tyler's not too happy about it because Minnesota is coming out of nowhere. Tyler, we wish you the best, but you got 2 minutes to milk the clock with Aaron Rodgers. That should be possible. Let's hope. Tyler also has a question here. He is asking, is Brandon Ayuk droppable? Purdy is healthy. George Kittle is coming back at some point. We got Demarcus Robinson, who's playing today. Juwan Jennings is coming back. Can we drop Ayuk in redraft?
I'm assuming this is redraft, sure. I mean, at this point, why not? In Dynasty, no, you want to hold it, make sure he's still good. Because if he is healthy, he could be it. But in redraft, chances are you could drop him, and then guess what? He comes back and he's healthy, you can probably pick him back up as well. So I think he is droppable, especially if there are guys that are putting up numbers. Kenneth Gainwell might be available in your redraft. Might be worth going to get a shot on him and dropping Ayuk. So when it comes to redraft, don't be attached to the names as much as you will, because everyone becomes droppable because you're only there for the season, right? So you're not looking at the age or how long they have. It's like, all right, this is just what I need for this season. So yeah, Ayuk is droppable in my opinion.
100%. What the hell is going on? I don't know, but I do know that Minnesota is kicking the ball off, and it looks like they might be onside kicking it. They are. Holy crap. What's happening in Dublin? There's a whistle. It doesn't matter. Flip over and flip on that game. You can watch us at the same time. Ryan, I don't know what's going on, but if you're in Ryan's situation against Justin Jefferson and Kenny Gainwell, you need upside shot plays. So drop your question here in the chat to us, and we will let you know exactly who to start and sit. Essie, I'm going to put you on the spot, but I'll give you a minute or two to see what you got. What are one or two of your biggest lineup decisions that you're facing today? One that I was facing earlier was DK versus a bunch of other guys. In many cases, I chose to sit DK Metcalf. Huge mistake. Put up as many yards in this one as he did throughout the first 3 games of the season, and he caught that 80-yard touchdown. That sucked. But I at least was forced to start him in 1 or 2 spots. I have enough DK, so that decision hurt me, but I still got plenty of time. What I like about that is that happened already. Now I can go in and figure out the upside plays that I need in place of that lost production. SC, you got 1 or 2 start sit issues that you're having at the moment?
Right now I'm looking at DeAndre Hopkins, or if I should go Laporta, Kraft, or even, like I said, Kincaid as a flex spot. Tight ends there, not a tight end premium, but it's, Hopkins has gotten touchdowns, but he's not getting the volume ready. It's really just, I'm basing on a touchdown there. So I want to lean Kraft as well. I think this offense is good enough to do it. That's probably where I'm at. Do I go with Laporta, Kraft, Hopkins, or Kincaid right now?
Yeah, I think if I have to order those guys, I got to go Kraft number 1, especially against Dallas. But especially, like you said earlier, we don't know who the number 1 wide receiver is. That's probably because it's Tyler Kraft. He looks great when he's healthy. Is he 100% at this point? I don't know, but he's had time to heal. So I'm going to go ahead and say fire him up, even in Dallas. Who cares? I think Tyler Kraft is your number 1. Laporta's probably a close second, going against one of the toughest defenses in the league in Cleveland. But you just don't know how that's going to shake out. And because Myles Garrett is who Myles Garrett is, and because they're getting pass rush opportunities from the other side as well, Goff is going to have to release the ball quicker than he likely would. So it's probably less for guys like Jameson Williams and more for guys who are closer. So I like Laporta second. And then, of course, your other options, Hopkins, like you said, he's not getting the volume, so he's a no. Kincaid against New Orleans, yeah, could happen. But who's getting the opportunities from Josh Allen in any given week? Is it Keenan? Is it Keon Coleman? Is it Khalil Shakir? Is it, Elijah Moore, who's been getting into rounds? Is it Josh Palmer? I mean, we just never know. Kincaid has been kind of consistent this year, but I'm not going to start him over those guys. So I go Kraft, I go Laporta, I go Kincaid, and then I go Hopkins.
Fair. That's what I like. Yeah, I think Kraft has the biggest role, guaranteed role, I feel like, out of those options. So
100%. Tyler, is it worth keeping Mims over Ayuk? I would say absolutely. Although Mims, did he just have something? Is he ruled out? I saw something on Mims a little bit earlier. I'll have to check into that. But is it worth keeping Marvin Mims, generally speaking, over Ayuk in redraft, especially if you have Coker ready to come back?
Sure. I mean, over Ayuk, I'm assuming Ayuk's just taking up a bench spot. Like, you could just have him outright. So at this point, yeah. But I think you might be going back to the waivers to get Ayuk, and dropping Mims too. So I think there's a toss up there. Either way, Coker, once he comes back, he's gonna be the guy. So that's gonna be your starting. You're gonna drop Mims and Ayuk for Coker, I feel like. So
yeah, that makes sense. This is an interesting one, SC. We got Ricky Pearsall. So showed up on the injury report with a knee injury. He's going to play. He's got a starting quarterback back, but he's got Juwan Jennings back to deal with. But he should be in the driver's seat, and they play – I don't know why I don't have this up. They play at home, and they play Jacksonville. So it's a really good spot for Ricky Pearsall. The question is he going to be hyper involved like he has been at times in the past? Or do you want to take T-Mac, who is Tedoroa McMillan and not Terry McLaurin? Do you want Tedoroa McMillan against Christian Gonzalez, who will play, who was also banged up this week in practice? What do you think?
Yeah, Terry or T-Mac is also banged up as well. I think Pearsall, if he's healthy, I think he's gonna be the one, right? And he's gonna see the field. So I would go Pearsall over T-Mac personally, especially going against Christian Gonzalez. That has nothing to do with me having a duck face here, but Christian Gonzalez is a solid defensive back, and he's proven it time and time again when he's on the field. Bench the guys that he's gonna be going against, in my opinion.
Love that. If you scroll up in the chat, we have our Discord link. You can join it there. A couple of you in here have joined us already today. Feel free to copy and paste that. Join us over there. Not only do you get your questions answered just before game time here, but you can get them answered, trade questions, whatever you got over there at any time. We are always in the chat talking ball. Carlos with another one. So we're going Pearsall there over T-Mac this week. Rank Purdy, May, and Fields for week 4. So SC, just to clarify for you and the audience, we've got Brock Purdy at home against Jacksonville. We've got Drake May at home against Carolina. We've got Justin Fields on the road, but in Miami against that Miami defense. A lot of really good matchups for these three guys. Where are you going? Let's rank them.
Your safest bet is Purdy. I'll say that right now. I think your highest upside, man, I think Fields is your highest upside. But at the same time, we're ranking them through week 4. All right, we're gonna do Purdy, Fields, and May.
Okay.
Wait, May's going against Carolina, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna do Purdy, May, and Fields. Fields is nice. I think he's someone that can't be beat, though. They may try to run the ball as well. It's really just Garrett Wilson, I feel like, what they have there. May, we saw the spike there as a rookie, and what he can do. I think this is opportunity again, like we were saying with Henderson. This is the time you want to start him because it's like, all right, this is go time. If he can't do it against Carolina, then I mean, they consider what I need to do to pivot off of him. In redraft dynasty, obviously, you're going to hold him. So I would say Purdy, May, and Fields, just in that order.
I hear you. I have Drake May the highest. I have Drake May at QB4 this week. Call me a homer. I don't care. Drake May set to go off against the Carolina defense, who shut out Michael Penix and company last week. But then Fields for the rushing upside for me, then Purdy. I agree with you. Purdy feels safest, and he's also a guy who can go off for 5 passing touchdowns in any given week. We've seen that throughout his short career. But I just like the rushing upside of these guys more. And assuming standard QB scoring, where you get 4 points for a passing touchdown, I'm going to go with the guys who run. I'm going to go Drake May, Fields, and Purdy. But these matchups are awesome. Really, really hard. I just really love Drake May this week. And Justin Fields, who knows how healthy he is. It is a good problem to have indeed. SC, I'll ask you this question, talking about... Let's talk about the New York Jets, because you brought up Breece Hall. Breece Hall here against Miami defense, they suck. They're if they're not the worst defense in the league, they're definitely top 3. But they got no way to cover Garrett Wilson. We know Fields is going to hyper target him. But how do you feel about guys like Breece Hall, who we're kind of wondering if he can be a solid RB2 for us this week, and Mason Taylor, who came on last week with Tyrod? Is Mason Taylor going to be more involved? And would you, desperation flex Mason Taylor? So Breece Hall and then Taylor. What do you think?
I think Breece Hall, you got to start him. He saw that he's too valuable to bench. Like, I'm not taking that risk of benching him over a JCM, over Rico Dowdle as well. You got to start, your Breece Halls there. As far as Taylor, I think that was just Tyrod playing safety. Playing the safety net and going to Taylor a little bit more. I don't know if Fields is going to do that. Fields kind of finds his wide receivers and targets those heavily. So that's where I would go. Garrett Wilson is a nice start for him. So Taylor's nice. I like him for your dynasty rooms, but I'm not really buying in that as far as a redraft asset, especially if Fields is in the backfield. I think it's going to be more balls towards Garrett Wilson rather than playing it safer when Tyrod Taylor was there.
100%. I will say this, though. Even with his 6 targets, Mason Taylor just 4 receptions and just 18 yards on those 4 receptions. So even if he gets involved, how involved will he get? We've got a situation going on here. Ryan, thanks for alerting us. We've got 1 minute and 2 seconds. We've got Carson Wentz with the football on his own 20-yard line. He's trying to get into field goal range to tie this up and take it to overtime, and he just got intercepted, and the game is over. So on the first play, I don't even know. Do you know who number 42 cornerback Pierre is on the Steelers, Mr. IDP?
I could not tell you. This was one they just played. They played their guys in there and said, all right, make sure you just get the ball. So, yeah.
Yeah. But in true fashion, the Steelers are showing up Ryan immediately. But Carson Wentz, this is why, and Jesse was saying it, just as well. This is why you can't rely on him. They're checking the feet. He's got the feet down. He's got control, and he just ripped it away from Jalen Naylor. I would be shocked if they overturned that one, but we'll see. Pierre on Jalen Naylor. And why we're going to Jalen Naylor over Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson is absolutely unreal to me.
100%.
What the hell? The hell are we doing?
Right.
Yeah, might be time. This is the Arthur Smith offense. Mike Tomlin needs to go regardless, but he won this one.
Yeah.
He won.
Dude, Mike Tomlin, he continues to win. You're not. I mean,
I love Mike Tomlin, by the way.
Yeah, you're gonna get him for a guy that has no experience or a guy that's just a good OC on a good team. Mike Tomlin continues to win. If anything, this is Arthur Smith needs to go.
100%.
Then Tomlin. So
yeah, for sure. L. Smith, what is up? Welcome in. L. Smith, drop us a question or two that you have for start sits. We've got about 19 minutes. Hit us with a few of them because we want to answer these questions and make sure that you are ready for your lead. Robert also in the chat. We appreciate you guys. Sit. 19 minutes left. Hit us.
We had one from Carlos real quick. Hold on before we win. We had Tyler Warren or Hunter Henry in PPR.
Oh, my bad. Go for it.
PPR. Man, yeah, at this point, you got to start Hunter Henry. He had a big game last week, right? So I think Hunter Henry could be the guy, or at least it looks like him and Drake May, we saw they had chemistry last week as well. So I think we want to go Hunter Henry here. And Tyler Warren's nice, but I think right now Pittman is the wide receiver you want to start there in Indy with, Daniel Jones at the helm. Tyler Warren's going to be coming along, but right now I think Hunter Henry seems like he could be the guy. If anything, Hunter Henry may get you 3 receptions, but he might also get you 2 touchdowns. So I think you go Hunter Henry.
Agree there with Hunter Henry. Although Tyler Warren's a nice option, Hunter Henry is just inevitable at the moment, and the matchup is legit. We'll get to these questions here in just a second, but if you're not watching this football game, they overturn the clear interception. Carson Wentz gets the ball back, almost throws another interception, and then they call holding on the defense. They want Minnesota to come back and win this game. The NFL fix is in. What the hell? Let's start with L. Smith. Genty or Keenan Allen? What are you doing? It's hard.
This is a flex. So obviously has to be a flex. Can't be running back or wide receiver.
Full PPR.
PPR. Man, Keenan Allen, the ghost of Keenan Allen's upon us. Let's say it, Keenan Allen, man. That's who you want to start. Yeah. Genty hasn't been doing it. We don't know if he will. We saw Trey Tucker get the volume. It wasn't even Bowers, right? So it's like it's just we just don't know. It doesn't look like they have a solid. This is our guy. We even saw Zamir White get a little bit involved here and there. Keenan Allen looks like he has a role. We know he already had chemistry with Justin Herbert. If anything, when they brought back Keenan Allen, Justin Herbert probably called him and said, "Hey, man, let's get back to work," right? And we're seeing that now. So I go Keenan Allen over Genty. I don't like it, but this is where we're at.
Love Keenan Allen. I will say this. If Genty doesn't play well against the Bears, it's over for year one. I mean, you're not going to be able to start him. He's still got a couple of nice matches, but the issue is not Genty himself. He looks good. It's this offensive line. They should be able to do something against the Bears, but Keenan Allen in full PPR, he's going to get everything against the Giants. I really think it's Allen. This one's close because I think Genty has a good game, but I will go Keenan Allen as well. Full PPR, start 1, QJ, Devontae Smith, or J.K. Dobbins. SC, I'm going to say it ahead of you. I'm going J.K. Dobbins. I'm all aboard the J.K. Dobbins train this week. We love R.J. Harvey. They're playing Cincy. Are you going to start QJ or Devontae Smith over JK this week?
Full PPR. I think QJ's getting some work, right? We know QJ's getting it. That's why I was saying 100%. I like it. Dobbins is playing, like you mentioned, Cincy there. This may be something where they're able to pass a little bit more as well, though. So, yeah, I think I gotta go QJ, man. I think we're upon the train where you gotta start QJ until we can't right now. It looks like it's not that he's getting the volume, but he's just getting big chunks of yardage, and that's something you want as well. And he's getting some touchdowns, so I think QJ is the one you want to go there.
Yeah, I can't argue with you there, except I'm gonna play J.K. Dobbins, but QJ is legit and for real. If you are watching this game, here's what's happened over the last 3 plays: clear interception called out of bounds because he was kind of struggling with that. Then almost throws a pick, called defensive holding, and then the refs barely, they didn't want to, but they barely threw a very clear intentional grounding call. They nearly didn't throw the flag. They finally threw it about a minute after the play because they had to, because it was obvious. They want these Minnesota Vikings to come back. The question is, can Carson Wentz do it? It is ugly in Dublin. NFL, be better. Be better.
Right. The rest take advantage and ruin our fantasy, or they may be helping if you start at Wentz. This is
Well,
giving
that's
us
true.
opportunity there too. So in this case, I did start Wentz in SFP, so I want them to throw those or not
Nice.
throw it.
Let him keep throwing the ball.
Right.
I'm not playing Debo over either of these guys. Like I said, his
No,
targets
yeah.
fell off a cliff last week. That was Marcus Mariota, but it was also Terry McLaurin being back. McLaurin being out helps. But no, I'm not starting Debo over either of these two. It's Keenan, Genty, and Debo for me. Debo's a clear third one. Same for you?
Yeah, I would say the same.
Yeah. But look at this trade. Yeah, I think that's fine. I think Sutton is more boom bust than we want to believe. He got there. His consistency was due to double-digit touchdowns last year. I think he had 10.
Right.
I'll have to double check that. But
The beauty is Troy
yeah.
Franklin slowly becoming what they had Sutton as last year. We're starting to see more of emergence of Troy Franklin. So that's what we love to see.
Absolutely love that. This is the last play of the game. It's 4th and 13. It's 14 seconds left. They are far, far away from field goal range. Carson Wentz trying to do something to gain 13 yards on 4th down, 14 seconds left. Watch along with us, but, for whatever sort of purposes that could be tied to copyright infringement, we won't post it here since we're also on YouTube. Check out the game while we check this out. Tyler says, do I drop Evan Ingram for Parker Washington if I have Andrews?
Sure.
Interesting.
I say sure. Why not? I mean, Parker Washington. Look, he's getting work. He's getting worked into the offense there. Travis Hunter hasn't been. If Travis Hunter was their guy's wide receiver 100%, then sure, you're not necessarily doing that. But Ingram also hasn't looked the part. So I would say sure, especially if you have Andrews. I know Andrews had his big game and was kind of nothing the 2 prior weeks, but Andrews is in that offense. Even when he's not getting receptions, we see him on the field. So it's just a matter of time before they know. We know him and Lamar have points or have a chemistry as well. He's going to continue to grind. So I think you want to good job keeping Andrews. And yeah, I'm okay dropping Ingram for Parker Washington.
Agree. I'm okay with it. 11 targets last week. De'Ami Brown still out. Go for Parker. Andrew should be okay. Yeah, it's Keenan over Genty for this week. Genty's going to be okay. It's a rough one. It's close. It's very close. I would say if you need a floor, you can go Genty, just because I don't think the Chargers are going to have any problem with the Giants. Maybe it's an Amari and Hampton game. Rondé Gadsden's going to get more involved. Lad McConkey's still around. There's a lot of mouths there.
Right.
So if you need a floor, I'd probably go Genty. But generally speaking, yeah, it's Keenan over Genty for the both of us this week. The Pittsburgh Steelers have won the game. The red-headed Carson Wentz was given the business in Dublin. Surprise, surprise. But SC, you'll be happy to know he went 30 for 45, 350 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Nice.
So he was just fine. Also ran twice for 12 yards. A nice little extra point, 1.2 for you there. Agent Z, what's up? Welcome back. We got about 12 minutes to game time, so we're here to answer all your start-sit questions. Drop any and all of them in the chat. Agent Z says, flexing Troy Franklin this week against Cincy, or Jerry Jeudy against Detroit. Good matchups here. Both guys are at home, full PPR. What do you think, SD?
Yeah, I'm okay with it. I like Jeudy. He's the guy there. Look, Jeudy was. You had opportunity to sell Jeudy. This might be redraft, so it might not make a difference. But in Dynasty, you had opportunity to sell Jeudy because he was heavily targeted in one game, had over 250 yards, had 2 touchdowns. That was majority of his points. That was your time to sell. I don't know if Jeudy ever hits that. He's not having Jameis Winston. It's Flacco there. Even if Gabriel's the guy, it's still not going to be there. Even if Sanders' guy, he's still not going to hit that threshold again. So should I flex Troy Franklin? I like it. I think Jeudy might be your safest one, but I think Franklin, as I just said earlier, he's getting more involved in that offense, so we're going to see it. Him and Bo Nix obviously had chemistry from Oregon as well, so I'm okay with this. again, these are the decisions that that make you win because Judy might be the safer one, but Franklin might be the right choice there. So I'm gonna say go ahead, yes, flex Franklin.
I hear all of that. Troy Franklin is not a flash in the pan. He's coming on. He's the guy that Bo Nix trusts since college, of course. But Jerry Judy, 8 and 5 targets, but he hasn't done much with them. Of course, last week just 1 for 17, but played the best defense in the league in Green Bay. He was then at Baltimore, 4 for 51, not bad. But then he had his best game in the season, week 1. Jerry Judy did 8 targets, 5 receptions, 66 yards, didn't score. But he did that against Cincinnati, and that's who Troy Franklin plays this week. Use that information for what it's worth. I'm still going Judy at Detroit, but this one's really, really close. You could go Franklin. Pick the answer you like the best there. Yeah, Troy Franklin's for real, I think. Tyler says, traded Coker and Iomanor for Andrews. I don't mind it. I mean, Mark Andrews is going to have to live off touchdowns, but he could live off touchdowns. Isaiah Likely probably back this week. Just the one thing you have to keep in mind there. What do you think about this trade in redraft?
Yeah, no, go ahead. I think Imar's coming on, right? He's had back-to-back weeks for touchdown. I just hit him on an anytime touchdown this week against Houston. Coker will look nice as well. But as I just mentioned, Andrews is on the field. Since you're likely already having injury concerns being banged up, Andrews may not be getting the targets, but it's slow. Though these type of players don't panic out of trading them away because the season starts slow. We're gonna see it be more and more involved. We saw it last week. That might be the wake up that Andrews needed, and now we might see him a lot more. So I think it was a smart trade.
Yep, I love that take, and that's because he had only Evan Ingram as his tight end. So even more so, a good trade for you, Tyler. Just keep in mind here, and he's asking us, and we talked about this already, but now he's asking, does he drop Ingram, who he drafted for Parker Washington? He has Andrews. I kind of want to see what Ingram does this week. That's just kind of just me. If you need the wide receiver help, I don't know if you do because you just traded Coker and Iomanor. I don't know if you need the wide receiver help. If you really do, Parker, I get it. I think he's a short-term play. Evan Ingram might be the long-term play once he gets integrated in this offense, but will he be healthy enough to do it? I don't know. Given all of this new information, SC, are you still okay with dropping Evan Ingram for Parker Washington?
Yeah, I mean, again, with redraft, you could drop everything, and he might still be available on your waivers later on as well. But Parker Washington, as long as he's involved, he may end up carving out the role, even with Diamond Brown coming back. So I think it's a safer bet going with Parker Washington.
Absolutely. Final line as we wait for our final start-sit questions with 8 minutes to game time. Final line here for Kenneth Gainwell, SC. 19 carries, 99 yards, and 2 touchdowns on the ground, 6 receptions, 35 yards through the air. If you joined us on TikTok, we were talking about Gainwell being the bell cow. If you started him, you're real happy. What do you think about Kenneth Gainwell? Can he carve out a larger role?
I think, I mean, if when Warren comes back, no, it's still gonna be Warren's show. I think this would be a testament, though, to hold your Caleb Johnson shares, because if Gainwell goes down too and it's Caleb Johnson, this may be something where it's like he just needs to work. He's not gonna be someone that is gonna be, be the Hendersons where he has a couple carries and makes a big play. Caleb Johnson needs to be the workhorse back to go out there and break out those big plays because he can wear down that defense as well. We saw with Kenneth Gainwell doing it. We saw with Jaylen Warren doing it. I think he's a nice hold if you have him. If he's on your waivers, he might go out there and make those claims already just to be ahead of the game. But absolutely beautiful play, and hopefully you start him. I unfortunately did not wake up early enough, so I did have Warren in my lineup, and it's because they said expected to play, and it was that late one that said no, he's out. So you gotta play those. But Kenneth Gainwell, if you start him, you're excited, and I think it's great moving forward.
100%. West Coast so tough with these early games. They start at 6:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
absolutely ridiculous. Nobody wants to wake up that. Listen, doesn't matter how dedicated to this game you are. Waking up that early on a Sunday is a tragedy. Right. The other side of the ball in this game, TJ Hockenson just 4 for 39 from Wentz, but that's because Jordan Addison came back. He had a slow game until the 82-yard reception at the end. 4 for 114 for Jordan Addison. Meanwhile, Justin Jefferson 10 for 126. Can you start both of these guys? You're starting Jefferson. Can you flex Addison weekly from here on out?
Yeah, 100%. I think he should be. I mean, even with JJL coming in, I think Addison, this was his first game back. So if you expected the big boom, he had it right with the 82 yards. But at the same time, it's it's going to be more involved. If anything, this is going to push Hockenson further down. So you're actually going to be, that's the guy you want to be wearing more. But Jordan Addison, 100% started.
Yep, agree with that as well. And the real question is when Aaron Jones comes back, where does he fall in between him and Jordan Mason? We saw Xavier Smith go ahead and get a receiving touchdown in this one. So that's kind of what we're working with here. It's kind of a crapshoot with this Minnesota offense until something solidifies, but we're not going to know. You're starting your studs, but TJ Hawkinson to me is a concern. He's someone that I would probably drop and I wouldn't drop, but I would go and get, if I had TJ Hawkinson, I would go immediately right now before these games start and go pick up Rondé Gadsden off the waiver wire. Chances are he's still there, depending on how deep your league is. Go ahead and get him and just see what he does this week. Because TJ Hawkinson, for me, like you said, he's a liability, especially with Addison back. He's just not going to be as involved as you want him to be. And JJ McCarthy runs, right? Carson Wentz is at least slinging it. JJ McCarthy is going to run around there. I mean, I just don't see it for TJ Hawkinson. You can't rely on him week to week. What do you think?
Right. Yeah, agree. There are definitely other options there. We brought up Taylor earlier, right? You brought up Gadsden, who could be great. There's definitely other options at tight end that are probably on your waiver that you could potentially drop. If anything, I'd try to trade him because again, he has that name value, so you can try to trade him for something and maybe get a nice wide receiver 2 or something on the floor. But with Addison coming back, with who we say Naylor is involved. Then you have Aaron Jones coming back, Xavier Scott looking like he's in the passing game. Hawkinson's slowly falling down the ranks there, and I just don't know if he's going to be the efficient guy that we want. It might become touchdown dependent when it comes to those tight ends. It becomes a streamer situation.
Jaden, with 3 minutes left, says, is he starting Debo or Javonte in full PPR? Javonte at home against Green Bay. Debo at Atlanta on the fast track. Who you got?
Javonte. Yeah, gotta go with Javonte here. Debo again with Mariota. It may be running. They may go with McNichols. They may go with who am I missing? Bill JCM, right?
Rodriguez.
Even Mariota, Rodriguez, even so. Debo maybe. I mean, Debo could get the work too in the backfield. We don't know, but I would say Javonte is your safer bet to at least get the work and possibly punch it in for a touchdown as well.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm agreeing with you, and the reason is, and I'm just going to pull it up here quickly. The Atlanta Falcons are all of a sudden good at defense. There's a lot of really interesting moves that they made. If you take a look at their roster in the back end, it's Divine Diablo. It's, some of the guys that they drafted in the secondary this year. Atlanta through 3 weeks, giving up the 5th least fantasy points to quarterbacks, the 7th least to running backs, the 6th least to wide receivers, and stifling tight ends the most of any fantasy team. And that's not just the schedule. I mean, granted, they played Carolina, but Carolina put up a 30 burger on them as well. Right. I mean, it's not just, the fact of their schedule. It's also the fact that this defense is much improved. And it's, of course, led by Raheem Morris. So Debo is a little scary this week for me. Of course, everything fell off for him last week with Mariota and Terry McLaurin. I go Javonte here as well. We saw Quinshawn be able to find some room against this Green Bay Packers run defense last week. Right. I'm going to go Javonte. I don't like it. It doesn't feel good, but I agree with you.
I like that there.
Right. So, yeah, we're about 2 minutes away. That's probably going to be it unless you have your final questions. We'll sit on here for 2 minutes to see if you have anything going here. SC, I got one for you. I'm in Scott Fish, so crazy scoring for tight ends, and I got a lot of them. I'm starting Juwan. I'm starting Fannin. I'm starting Ertz, but I got a Debo question. Is it going to be Debo in Scott Fish, or do you sit Debo for probably not for Godwin? I'm not trusting that yet, but for Jameson Williams, probably not, or Rondé Gadsden or Mason Taylor.
Oh, you're starting Debo over Jameson Williams
at the moment because JMO in his 2 for 104 game was outscored by Harold Fannin in this format because of his 4 for 50 game. So Jameson Williams could go, but he's just so boom bust anyway. Before you answer that, we're going to hang on. We got to get to Ray's question, get it in under the wire. Goff, Fields, Stafford, or Geno, 6 points. Who you got?
Go with Goff. I think Goff is your safer bet. It's gonna be a big one, and that's what you want to go with. Yeah, I see Goff.
I hear you on Goff. I'm going Fields, but Stafford is a good option as well. Either of those three. Geno is out, just because these other 3 guys are better. Goff is playing who? Remind me.
Golf right
Is it
now
Cleveland?
is playing Cleveland.
It's
Yeah.
Cleveland, but they're at home.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to run on them probably. It's a tough one. I'm going to go Fields. You're going to go off?
Yeah, I say Golf on that one.
Yeah.
Golf is the only one
so
out of those that has thrown for 5 touchdowns this year, so why not?
Yep. I ended up going Debo because lineups have locked.
Nice.
Ray, Daniel's still out. Hopefully back next week. I hear you. Good luck to you, Ray. Good luck to all of you. We're going to go watch these football games. Hopefully you have good luck in week 4. We are here for you every single day of the week at the Fantasy Football Universe. We got Debbie Planet going on with SC for college football. We're over on TikTok. Jesse was just answering a bunch of questions. So thank you, Ray. Thank all of you for joining us. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you next time.
FFU.